Watercolor brushes can be very expensive. I have tested many different brushes over the past few years, and I finally found the perfect one that can replace all the others. Hi, I'm Adalina, an artist and illustrator based in Italy, and today I'll share with you my absolute favorite watercolor brush that will help you save money and effort. This is not a sponsored video, but just a personal experience gained in years of painting. Watercolor brushes can be mainly divided into two categories: synthetic and natural hair. I prefer using natural hair brushes for most of the painting, and synthetic ones for the smallest details. The reason why I prefer using natural hair, and especially sable hair, is because the bristle can hold much more water and it's also much softer. This is the difference between a wet and a dry natural bristle. The first is much more pointed, while the second one has an irregular shape. So don't worry if you see that your natural brush has this shape when it's dry. So, as you can guess, my favorite brush has a sable bristle. But what's the difference between this brush and the others? Well, I compared it with a natural brush that I used for the same period of time, and I came to these conclusions. It has a very pointed bristle even though I've used it for 3 years now. None of the other brushes I have kept this pointed tip. It has a very flexible hair that follows smoothly every movement of the wrist. This may be a common characteristic for the sable brushes, but I've noticed that I paint more easily with this particular brush. Of course, I always clean it at the end of each painting session, and to do it I use a mild soap. In this period I'm using a soap made by a brush manufacturer, which is Borciani & Bonazzi. I think it's time to reveal the exact name of this brush. It's a Raphael Martyr Kolinsky from the series 8413. I have the size number 5 and I find it suitable for many different techniques and paper sizes. I let you this demo where I paint a page in my sketchbook using just this single brush from start to finish. For this study, I've used a photo from Pinterest that I leave as a reference in the description below. You can replicate the same painting using only one brush of your choice and test its qualities. As you'll notice, I use this brush for several techniques. During the wet on wet technique, I confess I missed a larger brush to be able to add more color before the paper dried, but I did it anyway. On the leaves you can clearly see the precision of this brush, although I painted quickly. In general, it was a very useful exercise to paint everything with just one brush. I've noticed that this led me to paint even faster. So I highly recommend you to try this exercise, and if you already have this brush or if you'll buy it, please let me know your opinion in the comments below. I would love to hear from you.